Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
Closing arguments in the trial of Jennifer Crumbley, mother of the Oxford school shooter. The defense telling the jury a guilty verdict for involuntary manslaughter could set a dangerous precedent.
I am asking that you find Jennifer Crumbley not guilty, not just for Jennifer Crumbley, but for every mother who's out there doing the best they can.
The prosecutor arguing this particular mother chose to ignore obvious warning signs.
He literally drew a picture of what he was going to do. Blood everywhere. The thoughts won't stop. The world is dead. He drew her a picture.
Another remarkable day in the Oakland County trial that's getting national attention.
The jurors sent home late this afternoon with, so much to think about over the weekend. They will come back to court on Monday morning for instructions from the judge, and then jury deliberations will get underway. We get Sean Lay with more on the dramatic final words to the jury from prosecutor Karen McDonald and the defense attorney Shannon Smith. Sean.
In these closing arguments, absolutely intense. You could feel that tension inside the courtroom. Closing arguments here on both sides hitting basically every facet of parenting, something a lot of us can identify with. Let's put you on the jury. Let's see what you would decide.
This is the last picture. So we have a bad gun until we see a murder 4 kids on November 30th. And the person holding it is Jennifer Crumbley.
Intense closing arguments in the case of Jennifer Crumbley, mother of the Oxford school shooter. Oakland County prosecutor Karen McDonald charging Jennifer Crumbley with failing to care for her son. Such a failure of her duty as a parent that it led to her son's rampage, killing 4 students inside Oxford High School. McDonald using Crumbley's own words against her.
Even now, she told you she wouldn't do anything different. And then she also told you that we took his gun away. The murder sting.
The case built against Jennifer Crumbley that she allegedly ignored her son's cries for help, using her time and energy on caring for her horses and concentrating on an extramarital affair. Her attorney, Shannon Smith, telling the jury that this case is about parenting, but having a hobby or an affair does not mean Jennifer Crumbley didn't provide her son ordinary care that would have saved 4 young lives.
I am asking that you find Jennifer Crumbley not guilty, not just for Jennifer Crumbley, but for every mother who's out there doing the best they can, who could easily be in her shoes. For every parent doing the best they can, who could easily be in their shoes. For every parent that has snippets of text messages that could be read and make them look like horrible monsters.
Back here live, you saw the stack of files next to Shannon Smith there defending Jennifer Crumbley. We also know the prosecutors put on more than 500 roughly exhibits and so many witnesses. So that is what the jury is going to take into the jury room Monday morning to dig through all of that. How long they'll be deliberating is anyone's guess at this point. Back to you.
Yeah, everything that'll be going through their heads over these next 2 days at home on their own, too. All right, Sean, if you missed any of these closing arguments or Jennifer Crumbley's own testimony today, we will be playing it all back on Local 4 Plus tonight at 6:30. That's right after this newscast. You can find Local 4 Plus anywhere you get your streaming channels like Netflix and Hulu.
A Roseville man is accused of beating his roommate, a senior citizen, to death. Mark Newsom is charged with second-degree murder in the death of 72-year-old Dale Mitchell. The Macomb County prosecutor says the two had an argument over food, which led to Newsom punching Mitchell in the head several times. He'll remain in the Macomb County jail until his next hearing set for February 14th.
There are 2 major problems sending people to the emergency room this week. One contagious, the other not.
Our own ER doctor, Dr. Frank McGeorge, has seen both of them in his ER. He's here to share what's going around and how you can reduce your risk of having it.
Respiratory illnesses continue to make lots of people sick, but with the recent weather, we've also seen a lot of slip and fall injuries. On those icy or sloppy days, it's really important to use extra caution on walkways and stairs and wear appropriate footwear with traction. If you don't need to go out, stay home until the conditions improve. Here's what's going around where you live.
In Wayne County, Dr. Kelly Levasseur at Children's Hospital is seeing a lot of stomach viruses, plus strep throat and viral illnesses causing a cough, runny nose, and red goopy eyes. Doctors are also treating some flu and RSV. Trinity Health Livonia continues to see respiratory viruses. Moving to Oakland County, Dr. Justin Strzinski at Corwell Beaumont in Royal Oak reports a very high volume of patients with respiratory illnesses like flu, COVID, and pneumonia. At Henry Ford Bloomfield Township, Dr. Rena Daisy is treating flu, COVID, RSV, and hand, foot, and mouth disease, with those illnesses sometimes leading to sinus infections and breathing problems. The ER at Corwell Beaumont in Troy reports a lot of slip and fall injuries due to the icy conditions. Looking at Washtenaw County, the health department says flu cases are currently at high levels, as are flu-related hospitalizations. Dr. Brad Uren at Michigan Medicine is treating a lot of flu and COVID, along with other upper respiratory infections and slip and fall injuries from the ice and snow. In kids, there is some flu plus stomach viruses and RSV. Checking on Macomb County, Dr. Ali Saad at McLaren Macomb says upper respiratory viruses are the main reason patients are in the ER, including COVID, flu, and colds. They're treating many weather-related slip and fall injuries, too. Dr. Maria Samuel at Henry Ford Sterling Heights is seeing those injuries as well, plus sinus infections following lengthy upper respiratory infections. Finally, in Livingston County, Trinity Health Livingston and the Brighton Medical Center continue to see an increase in respiratory viral illnesses. Doctors' offices are seeing flu, common colds, and slip and fall injuries.
To reduce your risk of catching the viruses going around, be sure you're washing your hands frequently and doing your best to avoid people who are already sick. Getting sufficient sleep can also help keep your immune system strong. Back to you.
Hey, thank you, Dr. McGeorge. Well, this weekend marks the 111th birthday of Rosa Parks. She's, of course, the mother of the civil rights movement.
And during her time living in Detroit, among other things, she created the Rosa Parks Scholarship Foundation. This year, they are increasing the scholarship amount. And our Megan Woods shows us how Rosa Parks' great niece is getting involved, too.
Rosa Parks' legacy can be found all over Detroit, including this mural here on Gratiot. But to Erica Thedford, Rosa Parks was just Aunt Rosa, an aunt that they would go to her place to watch the fireworks.
I didn't know who she was. Like, to everybody else, she was just Auntie Rosa to us.
It wasn't until Erica was older that she realized how much of a big deal her grandfather's sister really was.
I remember my friend being like, she's so different in real life.
At one point, Erica lived with her Auntie Rosa, and she instilled the importance of education.
And how, like, you need to have that foundation of always being able to fall back on that, because that's something that no one can take from you.
It's now become a passion for Erica, so much that she's recently joined the Rosa Parks Scholarship Foundation board, a foundation that's changed more than 1,300 high schoolers' lives, including Shantae Lewis's.
This was kind of like the push for me to go to college and to go to Wayne State.
Shantae received a $2,000 scholarship and internship opportunities.
It was like, I'm bringing a legacy to my family, but I'm also carrying like Mrs. Parks' family and her legacy in general.
And for a family member of the historic figure to be this hands-on and share those personal family stories,
it's more support for us to do it and to go to college.
I'm not, Rosa Parks. I didn't do anything special like that, but this can be special, just to reach just the person next door.
The deadline for this year's scholarship application is March 1st. In Detroit, Megan Woods, Local 4.
Okay, Megan. Our In Your Neighborhood series took us to Plymouth today, and the city known for its annual Ice Festival has one of the more pedestrian-friendly downtown areas that you'll find. So that means lots of people crossing streets. Local 4's Rod Maloney shows us how the city is working to make that as safe as possible.
Talking about walkable cities, Plymouth would certainly be very high up on that list here in the state of Michigan. But in this city, there are a lot of cars. It could be almost Dodgem cars trying to cross the street, and they want to put an end to that right away. The city and the Downtown Development Authority march in lockstep when it comes to the city's characteristic foot traffic. Sam Plymale says that they're at the end of a 5-year plan that will spend $750,000 on crosswalks.
I don't think you can put a price tag on pedestrian safety.
This is the corner of Main and Church, right across from City Hall. And it's a rather strange intersection in that it has differing islands, and more than anything, it doesn't have any structure. When you get out into traffic, it's kind of catch as catch can. But then there's Ann Arbor Trail and Harvey, where they put in all kinds of infrastructure so that people can be very safe as they cross the street.
We have an unbelievable walkable community, so to make it safe for the pedestrians is just of the utmost importance.
It's certainly something downtown shoppers and businesses depend on. Roberta Hutchinson of Radiant Fine Jewelers telling Local 4 today.
The customers walk their dogs. This is a dog-friendly business, so we do accept dogs in here. But yes, this crosswalk and this whole city stays busy.
The Main and Church intersection is still in the design phase, so they're not quite sure exactly how it's going to look when finished, but Roberta says the wait is worth it.
I think it's fantastic and safe, and there's a lot of walkers, so I'm sure it's beneficial. Absolutely. It's a good place to put the money.
All right, Rod, and let's stay in Plymouth as we take a live look from Drone 4. Kim Adams is there. Wow, isn't that beautiful?
Gorgeous.
Right
Yeah,
Lovely
it is.
evening. Let's head over to Kim for first weather. Kim?
It is so nice out here in Plymouth. They had a lot of sun today, and that has caused a little bit of an issue with some of the sculptures here, but they've got ways to protect with dry ice, and they have thermal blankets that go over top of them, so they are definitely protecting the ice sculptures, but it is so nice. I've got a big crowd out here tonight, and everyone is really enjoying this beautiful weather. As we look at temperatures right now, we're still in the upper 30s. Look at that. Oh, that's so beautiful. How gorgeous. 35 in Detroit, 36 in Ann Arbor, low 30s in Port Huron, and 36 in Monroe. Clouds and radar, not a lot to talk about. There's a few clouds up in the thumb. Otherwise, high pressure has taken over, and that is finally bringing us some sunshine. So for the rest of this evening, temperatures will be falling to about freezing by midnight, and I know a lot of the sculptors out here are so excited about that because, again, it has been a little bit of a battle out here keeping these sculptures frozen, and temperatures this weekend are going to go into the 40s with a lot of sunshine, and I'm told that the sun is even worse than, having the higher temperatures, that the sun baking down is definitely causing a bit of an issue. But we are going to be talking to some of the sculptors out here tonight, and the one you see behind me, this iguana, I'm told that they're going to set it on fire. I'm not sure what that means exactly, but we'll see coming up.